This is something that has been percolating for some time, multiple years of negotiation. So the question is this: what grade do you give the Cowboys, and what grade do you give Dak Prescott on getting this deal? So now with Dak Prescott, he gets an A+. The Cowboys, I'll be very fair here with the Cowboys because, listen, I've taken my shots at Jerry Jones over the years, but I'm going to be reasonable on this. This contract for the Cowboys is an F-. It's an F-. So I've got middling, tables, and house money. And we will tie all of these things together and make a really nice 401k is what we're going to make. Now, from the Cowboys side of things, this is a bloody nightmare is what it is. Now, I have no skin in the game on this. Jerry Jones has been enjoying too much of that gas station booze, it would appear, because why on God's green earth would Dallas give out this contract? The Cowboys shoulda, coulda, woulda played out the franchise tag your it game. They'd already done it once. They would have been much better off. Dak Prescott would have made $37.7 million in 2020. That's a lot of money. It's not. You're not going to the soup kitchen for $37 million. You would have then not changed yourself if you're the Cowboys to a player who, let's be honest here, if you know anything about football, Dak Prescott, he's a lot of things. One thing he is not is elite. He's not. He's never been elite. There's no indication he's ever going to become an elite quarterback. You just signed up a record-setting contract to a run-of-the-mill quarterback. So, Jerry Jones, you get an F-. Congratulations on your report card. Dak Prescott is overrated, and now he's overpaid, which is what everyone wants to be, right? Overpaid. Now, again, overrated does not mean you're bad. It just means you're not as good as the establishment. In this case, the media seems to think you are. Dak is what's known as a middling quarterback. He is lackluster. He's nothing to brag about on social media. You're not going to go post on Instagram about Dak Prescott. He's your typical stat bandit. The low information fan thinks is better than they are. We fight this battle all the time. There's many of these type of quarterbacks in the NFL, but in big moments, Dak Prescott has not had the pedigree to perform in those games. People celebrating this, the biggest people celebrating this contract are fans of the New York Football Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the team formerly known as the Redskins, because they now are guaranteed 2 matchups a year for the next few seasons at least against Dak, assuming he can come back from a devastating injury. And then to add even more stupidity to the deal is the injury. Dak is coming off a devastating snap, crackle, pop goes the ankle. Right? Gruesome. The Cowboys just committed a record-setting amount of money to Dak Prescott, who is rehabbing from not 1, but 2 surgeries. Why did he have 2? Because the first one didn't work, all right? On a gruesome, ghastly, broken right ankle where the bones separated. And that was in week 5 last NFL season. You don't even know if this guy's going to be able to return to form in 2021 at all. And this is the move right here. This is it. This is the one that cements the Cowboys will be a second-rate, crummy franchise for the foreseeable future. This is it. I mean, this right here, Dak Prescott, he's average. You've hitched your wagon to average. Rather than make the big, bold move and try to do better, you said, all right, we're not going to trade for Russell Wilson. Even though Russell wants to play in Dallas, we're not going to even consider that. Or go. There's so many other options you could have had, and they chose to go this option. Bad job by them. But hey, I'm not a Cowboy guy. Now, part B of this, from Dak Prescott's side of things, while I have just laid out that he is now overrated and overpaid, congratulations, right? Tip of the cap to Dak Prescott. He delivered the knockout blow. This is an A+++ contract. He is a marginal quarterback who pulled off his own Ponzi scheme on the Cowboys. Good for him. I have no animosity, right? No animosity towards Dak Prescott. People were laughing at Dak for wanting $40 million. We were laughing at Dak Prescott for wanting $40 million a year. The consensus agreed that he wasn't that quality a quarterback. So what did Dak Prescott do? Dak Prescott turned the tables. And now everyone and their uncle, even in the back of the room, everyone, all right, everyone is laughing and pointing fingers at Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. They're the ones wearing the dunce cap. The tables have turned. It's not Dak. You can ask for anything, but the sucker's the one that gives it to you. Dak Prescott gets an A+++ for being able to fleece Jerry Jones out of a record-setting contract. He's somewhere in the mid-range of quarterbacks in the NFL, and now he's getting his big lump of money. Congratulations. Keep in mind, an underwhelming resume. Now, again, this is another thing where the low-information fan thinks that Dak Prescott is more glamorous because he's got the star on his helmet and all that. Here's the evidence against that. Dak Prescott, to me, is somewhere in that anywhere from like 15 to 20 range of quarterback. And Pro Football Focus had him ranked a very generous 14th during his NFL career. So you've just paid the 14th rated quarterback money that is either first or second, depending on how you look at the economics here. He is a stat bandit. And a perfect example of that was in 2020. Early on, he played the first 5 games, and he put up big numbers there. Most of that was when the Cowboys were down by 15. Dallas fell behind by huge margins, and then Dak put up empty numbers, and the uneducated fan thought that was better than it was. Now, the last word here. All right, last word on this. Will Dak Prescott win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys over the next 4 years? Because that's the rule, right? We talked about this in baseball. There's big contracts in baseball. Mookie Betts got a record-setting contract from the Dodgers. He won a World Series wearing a Dodger uniform, although it's a team award, the championship, but he was a central figure in that, so that justified the contract. For Dak Prescott to justify the contract, he has to be the central figure on the Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. So if you gave me $1,000 of house money and you said, all right, this is some funny money, you're going to wager on Dak winning a Super Bowl or not even getting to a Super Bowl, I would bet on him not even getting to a Super Bowl. Dallas, hell, that's not really going on a limb. Dallas hasn't been able to sniff a Super Bowl in generations. The Cowboys have become that team where your grandpa tells you how good they used to be. They're that team now. And after this deal, Jerry Jones is actually physically further away from winning a championship than he was yesterday before agreeing to the deal with Dak Prescott. There's a better chance that Dak turns out to be Jared Goff or Carson Wentz 2.0. 2.0. And the Cowboys will be like, what did we do? What did we do? We're looking for divorce here. We want to go to divorce court before this deal is over there. Again, Dak Prescott, good for him. He was able to be hoodwink the Cowboys, and Jerry Jones was led astray and all that. He put up numbers against bad teams. But this has been the problem, the big bugaboo for Dak Prescott his entire career is he gets exposed when he plays better teams. What's my evidence? Now, depending on which stat you look at, one of my favorites is how do you perform against teams that have a winning record? Dak was 6-19. I think if you combine the numbers this past year, that's 6-22 now, which is a .214 winning percentage over the last few seasons against teams that had a winning record. 6-22. He was 0-3 in 2020. He started games against the Rams, Seahawks, and Browns, who all had winning records. And he was 0-3 in those games. He did win 2 games, was credited with 2, although the Giants game he was credited with, that was not a game he finished because his leg was mutilated in that game, and also the Atlanta Falcon comeback win as well. So this is the guy that Jerry Jones has said, you know what? I've got to have this guy. I got to have him. And it is proof that the pen is mightier than the sword. Because you have a sword, you can take money from people. You have a weapon, you can take money from people. But the amount of money you can get from the pen, right? The almighty pen. And this is more proof of it. And Jerry, if he had listened to us, he would not be in this predicament. If Jerry would have just let the market set the price, then he would be in a much better situation. And now the Cowboys are doomed to more unremarkable football. which is going to be fun because when this contract turns into a disaster, and it will turn into a disaster, we will be behind the microphones of FSR to mock, ridicule, and belittle the Dallas Cowboys, which is very fun because guys call up sports radio named Cowboy Dan, Cowboy Jim, Cowboy Bob, Cowboy Steve, Cowboy Billy, and they can't handle it, right? Like, I imagine we'll be flooded when I give out the phone number here from people all over, not just the state of Texas, but all over the country that are like, oh, I'm like a cockroach. I'm going to crawl out behind the refrigerator now because the Cowboys made a move. And they're all in on this. Good luck. Be careful what you ask for.